Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are 2 weeks into remote learning and we have already faced some challenges. So today I am going to share some tips on how we faced and overcame these challenges. So it can be hard as a working parent to manage the work that you have to do as well as help your child succeed in this virtual world. If you don't already know, I am a full-time working mom in the corporate world. I have been working from home for the past 12 years, and it was difficult to manage myself in the beginning. So for all of you parents out there who have, this has been the first time that you are working from home because of the pandemic, it is a huge change and challenge on top of helping your kids succeed in a virtual world. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the specific challenges I faced with working and remote learning. The very first challenge that I faced was uncertainty. There was a lot of unanswered questions regarding remote learning, what was the expectations, how things were going to be accomplished, and they are still figuring it out. So it can be very frustrating when you're trying to plan your week work-wise and you don't know what's going on with school. But the ability to act on the information that you have and be able to adjust accordingly as new information comes to you is a great skill to develop during this time, not only for yourself, but also for your kids. So in this specific instance, what I do is just act on the information that I have at the time. So in this case, it is the meetings that were set up, the technology and how to use it, and also getting my kids involved in learning their schedules and where they're supposed to be and what is expected of them. So the second tip, like I said, is getting the kids involved, making sure that they know how to log on to their meetings, what times their meetings are, how to navigate between all of the apps that's available and where they're doing their work, and to manage their time. And this is the big thing because it is not a typical school day where they log in at say 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever time they log in and they are in school for the entire day. They could have a meeting at 8 o'clock and then one at 1 o'clock and one at 2 o'clock. It's kind of sporadic throughout the day, and then they have independent study in between. So just getting them used to a new routine with school is key in helping you manage your work and their remote online schooling. Now, I have to say my kids are a little bit older. My youngest is in 2nd grade, and I have to do a little bit more hand-holding with her than with my older kids, and my other kids are in 4th grade and 7th grade. But I will say if you have kids younger than 2nd grade, it's still a good idea to walk them through. It's just that they will not be able to do most of these things on their own. So for me, what I had to do is really improve my communication skills, and my kids had to improve their communication skills as well. We do a daily check-in in the morning to make sure they know what is going on. I might do a check-in at lunch depending on my work schedule, and then also at the end of the day we talk about what they learned, if they have any work to do, how they are feeling. This is really big because it's remote learning and they're not really interacting with their friends, and they might not even know any of the other kids in their class. Make sure, at least I make sure that I ask them how they are feeling about what's going on in school and in their classes. Another thing that I do, and if you are working for somebody, that is a good idea to do, is communicate with your employer to make sure that they know that you have kids in school and you may need to adjust your work schedule to accommodate that. So be flexible with the school as well as with their employer, and see if there is a way to kind of manage the schedules of both. And this is where it's really a good idea, especially the older that your kids are, is to give them a little bit more independence and support and encourage the independence for them to manage their own schedule. So tip number 4, I think this is 4, but it is to begin with the end in mind. Now, this is a new landscape for most of us. We did not plan on doing remote learning or homeschooling. We were used to kids going to school and knowing what to expect. So in this case, for me, I want to begin with the end in mind, meaning what do I want this school year to be for my kids, and also get them involved in the conversation. So for me, it is that they are comprehending the material that is taught this year, being independent as far as problem solving for themselves. So if they have an issue, being able to communicate virtually with their teachers is key, and I am encouraging them and supporting them in that, because the more they can do for themselves, not only will they learn to advocate for themselves, problem solve, they will be able to take these skills with them into the future. The older they get, these are very good skills to have. Communication is key during this virtual learning, and I know sometimes it can get overwhelming. I know I have 3 kids and I get tons of emails from the schools from each teacher that they have, and to make the time to sort through all of that information to pick out what is key, it's time consuming. So the more that they can absorb during their classes, because teachers tell the kids also what is expected of them and where they need to be, this is such a great skill to improve and develop during this time. So there is a great YouTube video that talks about these habits, and it is Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, but it is a kid's version, and I'll leave that YouTube link down below in the description box. And this is the last tip. The 5th tip is to give yourself grace. Give everyone who is involved in the situation grace. So whether it's your employer or teachers or the school or the county, we are all doing the best that we can. And once we get into the groove, we will improve. But there are bound to be frustrations, failure, difficult times, and just give yourself grace, and just understand that every failure is where you learn something new, and you will bounce back and become better for it. If you guys have some tips that you would like to share, please leave them in the comment down below. We are all in this together, and every bit of advice or information to make someone's life easier would help. So I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.